Is this camera right here worth it, or is it overrated? Let's get into it. So this video is going to be unscripted and it's going to be straight from the heart because I've been not as busy as I usually would be because of my family state right now. We welcomed a newborn, but I love that part about life. But this camera is really expensive to be investing in. Cameras in general, right? Unless you're getting consistent work, have a lot of money, or you're making an investment, which means taking a risk on yourself. A lot of these cameras are too much money outright, especially if you're thinking about getting an FX6, which is made by Sony, and then you got to go ahead and rig it out, right? You need a Sony FX6 Helios 44-2 lens, then you need a recorder, memory, microphone, a decent microphone, and then you need a battery because that little battery that comes with the Sony isn't worth it. Now the form factor, okay, as a 6'3", pretty athletic male, this thing is still a lot to carry around, and it's really big. If you look at that with the microphone attached, it's kind of annoying to have this kind of microphone attached straight out. It adds like an extra foot onto where you're holding your camera. So form factor wise, it is a little annoying, but is it worth it in general? One, I'm going to say yes, but because of these reasons. One, I invested into myself. That was a long-term investment. I'm not going to go get an FX6 Mark II unless it is sent to me to talk about, which, it's a good thing about YouTube. And I don't really plan on investing into a Burano or a Venice II. I don't think that getting those cameras is going to increase the quality of my filmmaking. If you can master things when you're on set, which means like client relations, planning, writing, lighting, music, score, sound effects, gaffing, there's just so much that goes into actual getting the image to the point where, a $6,000 camera is a dime a dozen. You don't really need to invest too much into the actual camera body. That being said, the positives of this, I said positives. The positives of this camera have really been what it says for me. What does this look like optically when I walk on the set, right? I walk on the set, people are like, oh, like this guy knows what the hell he's doing. Like that look alone and that trust that clients now have in me because of the gear that I invest in is cool. However, that doesn't prove to anybody, and I want you guys to hear this, that I'm a good filmmaker. Camera YouTube and people reviewing gear doesn't make them good filmmakers. I'm not a good filmmaker just because I review gear. I'm a good filmmaker because what I create makes people feel things. And I think the whole point of art in general, I'm not going to just, proclaim that I know what art is, but in my opinion, I think the point of art is to connect with human beings in this struggle that we call life and to find the inner beauty and make that connection through moving images or music or lighting in a particular scene. That is why I picked up this. It makes it easier. Not get me wrong, this FX6 makes it way easier when I'm on the go to be able to move around because it has the internal ND and just a whole bunch of other things that help it work with team members. Like the wireless transmission could just go in via SDI, and I'm able to just pull up my phone on the Cine View app or whatever and be able to see what's going on here. So a lot of things that the FX6 really correct, in my opinion, are worth it in terms of the investment. Like the investment is just so much. If you want to invest that, like going back, I should have just got the FX3 to be honest, and because I didn't really use it too much as a cinematographer in terms of the strengths of the FX6. And this really doesn't constitute that much of a difference between these two, in my opinion, unless you're working on bigger teams. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking to yourself like, wow, like that camera is really expensive, like I don't know what to do, don't get the camera. Don't get it. Get a smaller camera, get something that can get you the shots you need to get. I would much rather invest in good lenses, good infrastructure around the camera, because those things last a little bit longer in my opinion. Having a good microphone, this Deity S Mic 2 has been out for like 5 years. I think they just came out with the S Mic 3, like after 5 years. Helios 44-2, been out for 70 years. So invest in the things that can have a life after your camera body. And then maybe, if you're getting a lot of clientele or you're getting stuff sent to you or maybe you're going to be on a team and you need to be familiar with the camera, rent it, then maybe buy it. But if you're risky, if you're a risk taker, and economically it is a smart decision for you, then I would suggest pulling the trigger, because it has made my job a little easier. Granted, this were just my thoughts on the FX6. I hope this helped you in your journey as a cinematographer, creator, filmmaker, whatever. It's your boy Kip Jackson. Start somewhere. Peace.
You ain't even on me. Yeah. Fall back too close. You ain't even on me. Trust my brothers from